Hey, you know what? It's MAGA Hat Monday.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule because you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, because I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about Bill Gates and the mark of the beast, and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feasts, and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring, and George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil, chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk and doubt it, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati. The superior skills, I got wild on a style you just can't kill. You can't kill me. No, 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 no. You can't kill me. You'll never take my life. You can't kill me. No, 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 no.
What's good, my people? You're watching the MC Too-Tall Show with your hardcore, fierce, and sexy host, MC Too-Tall. A year ago yesterday, I was going to do this yesterday, but I had more important things to talk about, like the head of the DNC. And you can watch that video on my YouTube. But a year ago yesterday, this country was put to the test. Not just Donald Trump, but this entire country was put to the test. It could have been a day of tragedy, but it was a day of victory and glory. As you know, Matthew Thomas Crooks climbed up a tilted roof that Secret Service was afraid to climb on top of, took a shot at the president, nearly killing him, but instead grazing his ear. That president, Donald Trump, ducked down, rose up again, pumped his fist, and gave us the iconic fight, fight, fight. And whoever has that photo, whoever took that photo must be rolling in the dough, because that photo is iconic. Donald Trump pumping his fist with the American flag draped in the background. It reminded us of our resilience, and not to sound cliche, our fight. And this further proves why Zohran Mamdani must not become mayor of New York City. We must show our fight against communism. We must show our fight against the intifada candidate for mayor. We're talking about somebody who is following an agenda to bring the wrongful ideals of socialism to the United States. And it is wrong. As somebody could say, well, you pay taxes for your police and your fire department. Municipalities are not socialism. Shut up with that. You're wrong. Zohran Mamdani is a detriment to all of society, not just New York City. This is a person who I call the intifada candidate for New York mayor, because he doesn't condemn it. It's something that should be condemned. Like the Holocaust, it should be condemned. Like the actions that took place on 9/11, it should be condemned. Like Ray Epps riling people up to raid the Capitol and going unpunished, that should be condemned. But Ray Epps, I believe, got pardoned by Joe Biden, not Donald Trump. there's other things that should be condemned. But this person refuses to condemn the global intifada. Hence, he is the intifada mayoral candidate. And you have people running in fear, trying to duck behind Eric Adams. You had people, first they put Cuomo, the granny killer, the groping granny killer, up against Zohran Mamdani. And people remember, it wasn't that long ago, people remember what he did, cramming COVID patients into nursing homes, lying about the numbers of the people that died as a result of that, and then blaming God. People remember that. And a lot of New Yorkers, thank God, still believe in God. And they know God is not to blame for the evil doings of Andrew Cuomo when he was governor of New York. And New York City made a resounding voice that they'd rather take their risk if they're a Democrat with this intifada mayoral candidate. Me personally, I don't vote Democrat in local elections anymore. In fact, last time I voted in a local election for a Democrat was for Elliot Spitzer, and it was a very strategic thing. I was working for New York City Transit, and I knew the presence of Spitzer would scare Peter Calico out of his chair, forcing him into retirement, which is what happened. And he took the MTA surplus along with him undetected. But that is for another story. And yes, Spitzer went on to do what Democrats do. Get into some sexual misconduct controversy and forced into resignation. Just like Andrew Cuomo, huh? Just like others in the past who were Democrats. Al Franken, Jim McGreevey. You could go back even further in time. Jesse Jackson's political career got shot down. John Edwards. You could go all the way back to the 80s with Gary Hart. So this is nothing new to the Democrats. They do this all the time. They love doing things like this. They love getting caught out there with their hand in the cookie jar trying to fondle a cookie. Which is another reason why Andrew Cuomo didn't get the Democratic nomination for New York City mayor. Because the whole concept with believe all women, me too, me too. I mean, the real reason that he should have left office was the COVID stuff, but he still left office. And here we are. Zohran Mamdani won the Democratic nomination for mayor of New York City. He didn't win the election. Now, a lot of people write it off as whoever wins the Democratic nomination wins the election. Well, Cuomo is going independent. I think that's going to flop. Eric Adams went into the election independent right from get. He's all the way at the bottom. And these false pollings are actually rating Curtis Sliwa third behind Andrew Cuomo. That's not gonna fly too much. And you have people saying, well, Zohran Mamdani is gonna be the guy that would... It's the Democrat vote that's being split up. It's the Democrat vote that's being split up. when back in, I'd say, 1912 presidential election, the Republican vote got split up and the Democrats slipped in. 2025 New York City mayoral campaign, the Democrat vote is getting split up and the Republican should be able to slip right in. There shouldn't be Republicans voting independent if there's a Republican candidate there that is literally the best of the four. He is a sane man. He makes the most sense and should be mayor of New York. Now, people are going to say, well, he lost to Adams before. Why is he going to win now? What's the difference now? The difference now is that Adams, since that election, actually served as mayor. And let's face it, he sucked. Okay? That plays a big role in things. A lot of people don't know this, but Rudolph Giuliani ran for mayor and lost his first time around. Rudolph Giuliani ran for mayor and lost his first time to David Dinkins. Did that discourage him from running again in 1993? Of course not. Yeah, he lost in 89 to David Dinkins, but ran again against David Dinkins in 93. Should he have been discouraged? Of course not. Why? Because after the 1989 mayoral election, David Dinkins served as mayor and he sucked. So Eric Adams' record will actually help Curtis Sliwa defeat him for mayor. Just like David Dinkins' record served as help for Giuliani to become mayor and defeat him when Dinkins ran for his re-election bid. So you get beaten before by somebody you don't know about, but then when they show that they're a shitty mayor, you're expecting the shitty mayor to defeat the guy you don't know again. People tend to want to roll the dice and see what the other side has to offer. Hell, that's what got Obama elected. When people feared that John McCain would be a continuation of George W. Bush, it was that fear that got Barack Obama elected. Plus, he ran around yelling, change, 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 change. People were expecting change, and, well, you know how that story goes. They got a continuation of George W. Bush. They got another 8 years of George W. Bush. We had to elect the Republican candidate for president, Donald Trump, in order to get rid of 16 years of George W. Bush. We were in some bad shape before Donald Trump became president. And we sunk even worse in 4 years when Joe Biden was president. And in fact, we could say it again. The Biden-Harris ticket beat Trump in 2020. Screwed up election, rigged, whatever you want to say about it. Of course, it wasn't fair or square. But people could say, well, Joe Biden beat Donald Trump before. Why should he even bother to run? You know, and I hear it go yesterday, see, he's getting shot at. He might as well hang it up. Because it was Joe Biden's record that helped a great deal in bringing about a Trump 47. It's Eric Adams' record, him not being the change from Bill de Blasio, but a continuation of Bill de Blasio, that should help you decide that Curtis Lewa is the guy to go with, not Adams. Personally, I believe for the rest of my life, I'm going to vote Republican. For as long as I live in New York, I'm going to vote Republican or conservative in local elections. Why? Because they say that's the thing not to do. Why is that the thing not to do? If the option is there, it's my right as a U.S. citizen and a voter to vote for that candidate. I'm voting for that candidate. By God, I'm voting for that candidate. So, because of the agenda of the New World Order to try to take out the American way, even by gunfire, as we have witnessed a year and a day ago, it is important to make sure that Zohran Mamdani does not become the next mayor of New York City. I'm going with Curtis Lewa. You could waste your vote on whoever, but I'm going with Curtis Lewa. Why stick with the devil you know when you could elect an angel, a guardian angel, the chief guardian angel, Curtis Lewa? Respect God, watch out for the Illuminati, follow and share my content, tell all your friends about me, stay strong, keep kicking that slang. It's your boy in the building, hip-hop legend, recording engineer, and underground rock and roll hero, MC Too Tall. And you be safe out there.